Today, we're going to break down the 5 essential sales strategies you absolutely need to know for 2026. Now, I know what you're thinking. Ugh, selling. So many people say they hate it. But here's the thing. In business, that's a luxury you just can't afford. So let's dive right in.
Let's just start with this idea, because it's a powerful one. Everything you believe, every single thing you've ever bought, someone, somewhere, sold it to you. That religion you might follow? Yeah, that was evangelized. This isn't cynical, not at all. It's just a fundamental truth about how humans work. Selling is core to how we connect.
And that leads us to a really crucial point for anyone running a business. You simply can't be in business and hate selling. They just don't go together. The trick isn't to try and avoid selling. It's to get really, really good at the right strategy for what you're offering. Okay, so here's our game plan. We've talked about why selling is just part of the deal. Next, we'll get into people-powered and value-driven strategies. Then we're going to bust a big myth with the freemium fallacy. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with how to pick the right strategy for you. All right, let's jump into our first 2 strategies. These are all about people. I mean, in a world that's just flooded with products, it's not just about what you're selling anymore. It's about who is doing the selling and who you're selling it to. First up, evangelize. You know, the modern word for this is basically influencer marketing. It's a really simple idea. You borrow someone else's credibility. You find people your customers already know and trust, and you get them to talk about your product. It's like a massive shortcut to building trust. So when do you actually use this? Well, it's perfect for things that are kind of all the same. You know, commoditized products. Water is just water, right? But suddenly, vitamin water has this huge edge because 50 Cent is associated with it. Running shoes are running shoes, but hey, Usain Bolt wore Pumas. The whole YouTube affiliate world, it's literally built on this exact principle. Now for our second people-powered strategy, community. This one's different. While evangelize is about borrowing someone else's credibility, community is about building your very own army of believers. You're creating a tribe, a group of people who don't just buy your stuff, they genuinely believe in what you're doing. And in this age of AI, let me tell you, a real human community is one of the most powerful things you can have. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. Getting people to join your group, that's actually the easy part. The real work, the hard part, is getting them to stay. When you're talking about community, retention is everything. So the key to it all is creating stickiness. You have to ask yourself, what unique value am I providing that they can't just get from a quick Google search? Think about it. A personal trainer who starts a WhatsApp group sharing workout tips. That's not a sticky community. That information is everywhere. You have to give them something they can only get from being in your group. Until you figure that out, you don't have a community. You just have a follower list. Okay, let's shift gears and move on to our next section. This is where we get into value-driven strategies. These aren't so much about who is talking, but about the unique value of what you're offering, either through what you know or by making it hard to get. Our third strategy is all about knowledge. This is where you sell because you know something that nobody else does. You basically position yourself as the only expert who can solve a really specific, tricky problem because you have data and insights that are completely unique to you. What's so interesting here is how these companies do it. They don't run ads that say, hey, we're a great IT company. No way. Instead, firms like McKinsey or this industrial AI company, IFS, they publish these incredibly deep, insightful reports based on their actual work. They give away their knowledge to prove their expertise, and that attracts the clients who then realize, wow, these are the only people who can actually do this. Strategy number 4 is a personal favorite, exclusivity. This feels completely backwards, right? Instead of making it easy for people to buy from you, you make it incredibly difficult. Why? Because it taps into a really powerful part of human psychology. We always want what we can't have. So how does this actually work? Let's take the School of Scale community. It's not $30 a month. No, it's $5,000 to join, and your business has to be making a certain amount of money already. The point is to keep the quality of the group incredibly high. And the real value comes from things you can't get anywhere else, like trips around the world to meet investors. You're making it hard to get in on purpose. All right, on to our 5th and final strategy. And this one comes with a big warning label. Let's talk about selling for free. We've all heard it's the best way to get customers, but what's the real story behind the freemium model? All the tech gurus love to talk about freemium. You know the pitch. Offer a free trial, get people hooked, and then just convert them into paying customers. Sounds great, right? But what percentage of those people who sign up for free actually end up paying for anything? Any guesses? 2.5%. That is it. For every 100 people who take your free offer, you can expect less than 3 of them to ever give you money.
And honestly, this quote from the source just says it all. For most people trying to build a business, a 2.5% conversion rate is just not going to cut it. Unless you can reach millions and millions of people, the math simply doesn't work.
The really important thing to understand is that freemium only works for a very specific type of company, mostly software businesses, SaaS. For them, adding a new user costs almost nothing. But for pretty much everyone else, it's a trap. Think about it with this bakery example. If a bakery gave away a free loaf of bread to everybody, would people really come back and pay for the next one? Probably not. Once you set the value of your product to free, it's incredibly hard to get people to pay for it later. So, we've walked through 5 totally different strategies. And now, for the most important part of all, figuring out which of these tools is the right one for your business. This table pretty much sums up our whole explainer. It's simple. If you're selling something everyone else sells, evangelize. If you got unique expertise, lead with knowledge. If your product is so good that people can't stop talking about it, like that Jarita Bakery from the source, build a community. If you're selling a high-end service, create exclusivity. And only if you're in a very specific tech niche should you even think about freemium. And let's end on this thought because it's so important. Let's be real. Most of our products aren't going to change the world. They're pretty similar to what our competitors offer. But your marketing, your sales strategy, that can be your secret weapon. That can be what makes you unique. So that leaves just one final question for you. Looking at your business, at your goals for this year, which of these 5 strategies are you going to put into action? Because choosing the right one, well, that could change absolutely everything.